Right, so this is where we last left off, right? Our last thing that we did was we recorded our purchase orders for the coffee and that we purchased the refrigerator. So then now, okay, that wasn't an entry in there, but it was a something that we had to update for our purchase orders. So this is where we last left off, okay? So here we end up receiving a invoice from Haley Bros, whatever it is, right? And here is what the receipt or the invoice says. So we received my coffee brewer and coffee grinder. Okay, there's our terms. Here's the total amounts, right? So the coffee brewer was $2,266, and my coffee grinder was $1,249.95. Here's your subtotal. There's your tax. There's your total amount that you owe, and there's the down payment. So this is the actual amount that you actually owe. Okay? Now for this, what I want you to do is I want you guys to put this into the miscellaneous suspense account. Because in this case, right, we actually have to do some more work for the coffee grinder, okay? So it says right here that the coffee grinder, we need to do some additional work to the coffee grinder by doing some reinforcement for a foundation for it. We also have to do some electrical wiring just to make sure that the grinder has a place to be plugged in. Okay, so there you go. It says right there, we need to be upgraded. So that's why I want you guys to put this in the miscellaneous suspense account. Okay, because we have some work that we have to do before these assets can get ready for service. Okay, so right, so let's go ahead and do that now, because I'm telling you to go ahead and put it in the miscellaneous suspense account because I'm the accountant and you're the bookkeeper, right? So I'm telling you that I want these two assets to be in the miscellaneous suspense account. Okay, so chart of accounts. My miscellaneous suspense account is account number 1999-90, right? And we received a bill for $2,000. We only have $5,000 in the bank. Are we going to pay this now or later?
Later.
We're going to pay it later. And it also says that we applied our down payment. So where did we put our down payment?
Prepaid?
It's currently in the prepaid. So let's go ahead and journalize that. Okay. So today is the 10, or today's the 11. No, today's the 10. Right? I told you to put the coffee brewer and the coffee grinder to the miscellaneous suspense account because we still have to do some work on it. Now, what is a miscellaneous suspense account? It's just a random placeholder account, right? It isn't necessarily anything that you have to have or require to have in your business, but in this case, because I still have to do work on the coffee brewer and coffee grinder, I don't know where to put them because I can't put them in their respective accounts just yet because they're not ready for service. So in this case, I created a random account called miscellaneous suspense, and I want to just put it in there, okay? So it's just a random placeholder account. Okay? And we owe money now. And we also need to apply our down payment. Okay. So how much was the down payment?
$1,000.
1,000.
$171.87.
Okay. How much do I owe?
$2,634.16
$0.15. Okay.
and 15 cents. Yeah.
All right. And how much was the entire amount for both coffee brewer and coffee grinder with the tax?
With the tax,
Mm-hmm.
3,806.02.
Good. 380602. Okay. And we have everything that we need because we didn't do anything, right? That we're accepting a bill, right? We have all the information on the bill. All right. So in this case, right, who did we receive this from?
Uh, Haley Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Haley Brothers. Okay. What's the proof of a transaction?
The invoice number.
Okay. And then, of course, since we're putting this in the miscellaneous expense, this is where, okay, you could go ahead and put coffee brewer, coffee grinder. Coffee brewer and grinder. Okay. And then, were we given terms?
1%, 15, and net 30.
1%, 15, net 30. And of course, we also applied down payment to invoice. Okay. That looks like good enough information. Okay. Now, before we continue, we can also check mark that yes, we finally received our items, right? So in this case, we can go to our purchase order so we don't forget that step. Okay, Hallie Bros. Today is the 10. And did we receive the coffee brewer and coffee grinder? Yes, we did. It was invoice number 351. Okay. All right. So now that we we completed my journal. I now need to update my my ledger account. Okay. So first things first is a miscellaneous suspense, which is an asset. So here it is, miscellaneous suspense. Okay. Now what I want to do here is because I know that I have a coffee brewer and a coffee grinder. What I want you to do is I want you to separate those costs because I need to figure out what these are, right? I need to know what these costs are. Okay? So in this case, right, we got the coffee brewer. Right? My coffee brewer. Let's see. My coffee brewer is $2,266 and my coffee grinder is $1249.95. Okay? So 226. So let me just type it in here. Grinder or a brewer, then grinder. So my coffee brewer was $2,266, while my coffee grinder was $1,249.95. Right? And that gave you a total of 15 or 3515.95. Is that correct? 3515.95. Yes. Okay. How do I distribute the tax? Because that's part of what I received in the bill. Right? I have to split $290.07 of tax. How do I do that?
Okay, you would tax each at this at 825.
Mm-hmm.
825.
So how much is the tax for the brewer?
Hey, the brewer was 2,000.
266.
$186.95 for the tax.
Okay. Good. Okay. What about the coffee grinder? How much tax is going to be on the coffee grinder?
$103.13.
Okay. I have 112 cents. So let's see. Let's add those up. Is that true? Is my tax 290.07? Yes. Is the tax 290.07?
Okay, hold on. Yes.
Yes. Good. So therefore, your totals are here, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
the let me put this in commas now so you can see everything. Okay. So there you go. You got the total amounts here, right? Is it for the 3,806.02? Yes.
Yes.
So in this case, right, that's what I'm going to make a note for, is that this one, when I put it in my notes, at least I know how much was the coffee brewer and how much was the coffee grinder, right, to give me the grand total of that $3,806.02. Because I need to make sure that when I do separate the two, when we take it out of miscellaneous suspense, at least I could keep track of each and every single one of them. So in this case, my coffee brewer cost me $2,452.95, while the coffee grinder is $1,353.07. Okay, so let me go make sure I put this in here. Okay, so here, received coffee brewer for $452.95 plus coffee grinder for $1,353.07. Okay, we're still on General Journal page 3. And we're going to debit that total amount of $3,806.02. Right? Just exactly what was on the bill. Okay? All right. And I'll go ahead and allow you to do it this time because prepaid, actually it's fine. So let's see. So we already put in the miscellaneous expense for 380602, right? For the miscellaneous expense, which is a combination between the coffee brewer and coffee grinder. Okay. Next one we have here is my accounts payable, so liabilities. Here's my accounts payable. It is the 10 today. We received an invoice, number 351, still on page 3. Yeah, we're very close to the bottom of page 3. And we're going to increase my liability because I didn't pay this for $2,634.15. So that should increase your accounts payable to $11,863.90. Okay. Okay. And now I need to redeem or apply my prepaid, right? My down payment. I go into your assets and just scroll up, right? And there is your prepaid amounts here. Prepaid accounts. Okay? Since I'm going to be redeeming my voucher, right? Because when you do a down payment, it's like you're purchasing a voucher, right? It holds some kind of value. And then when you have your bill, you take that voucher and you apply it. Okay? So there you go. Applied down payment on invoice number 351. Okay? Still on General Journal page 3 here. And since we're applying the down payment for that $1171.87, right? That should decrease your account back down to that $6654.17. Right? Because we added it, then we subtracted, then we added, then we subtracted. Okay? So here you go. We redeemed that $1171.87. So now your total accounts payable, right? If you look at your track record, it went back to $6,654.17. Okay.
Can you go back to accounts payable?
Okay, did you need me to explain anything?
No, I was trying to get my totals back.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. All right. So now we finished our journal. We finished our ledger, right? We now need to go to the subsidiary ledger because I owe Hallie Rose money now. Okay? So, subsidiary ledger, right? A list of all the people that you need, such as your employees, your customers, and your vendors. So, in this case, vendor, because we just purchased something from a person. Okay, so let's locate Hallie Bros. Okay, there they are. No, that's furniture store, general gas. Here you go, Hallie Bros. Okay. This is going to be a separate line because we finally received a bill, right? So this is what you could do. You could say received coffee brewer, right? And if you want to put the price on there, it was what, $2,452.95. Okay. Plus my coffee grinder, which was 1,300. Actually, let me see. $2,452.95. And then my coffee grinder was $1,353.07. Okay. And then I'm also gonna put applied down payment to invoice. Okay. And this was invoice number 351, general journal page 3. Were we given terms?
Yes.
Yes. What was it?
1% after 15 days and net 30, you have to pay it out full.
Good, right? So it is, we get a 1% opportunity for a discount if we pay within 15 days. If not, the whole entire bill is due in 30. So let's calculate. What is 15 days from now?
The 25th.
The 25th. So that means if we paid by the 25th, we will receive a discount. If not, when is the bill actually due?
Okay.
What is 30 days after the 10th of June?
It would be the 10th of July.
Correct, right? Because June has 30 days. So, therefore, a month later is going to be due on July 10. Good, right? So, we have time for this one, but if we want to take advantage of that 1% discount, we must pay by June 25th, right? Now, how much was the total amount on your invoice without the down payment? Before the down payment, how much was the bill?
$3,806.
380602, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then how much was the down payment?
$1,171.87.
Yes, so that should give you your grand total down here, right? That you should owe $2,634.15. And is that true? Is that what it says on your bill?
No.
Your bill doesn't say that you owe $2,634.15.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, right? So this is how you use it, right? We're going, just like what we did previously for the coffee mugs, right? This is how I want you to use it. You're going to put the whole entire bill amount first. Then you're going to apply your down payment, so then when your total accounts payable should match what it says on your bill. Okay? That you owe $2,634.15, which is true. Okay? All right. Okay? We already did the purchase order. Okay, so we're good to go. So like I mentioned, right, we're going to be needing to do some extra work for the coffee grinder, right? We need to do a reinforcement for the foundation, okay? And then we need to also create an electrical wiring, okay? So it could be plugged into the wall, right? Because we already have another coffee brewer. We're going to have a refrigerator. We're going to have a lot of things that are going to be plugged into the wall already. Okay, so we already have a coffee brewer, a coffee grinder, or we're going to have the coffee, yeah. And then we're going to have another coffee brewer, and then we have another refrigerator, right? So we need to create more outlets for us, okay? So after you received your items here, it says here that it came with an accompanying bill for the delivery. So here it tells me that Valley Delivery Services was the one who delivered the coffee brewer and the coffee grinder. Okay? And they charged me $350 to deliver the coffee brewer and coffee grinder. All right? And with this type of shipping, what do I do with this type of shipping?
Cash on delivery?
Cash on delivery. I have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I have to, what do I have to do? I have to pay for it, right?
Right.
So how am I going to pay for it?
With the check.
You're going to cut them a check, right? All right, so that means you got checking there. Now, where is my coffee brewer and coffee grinder currently at? Where did
And miscellaneous.
we put it into miscellaneous suspense, so that's exactly where you're going to place it as well. You're going to place it into miscellaneous suspense, okay? Because that's where my coffee brewer and coffee grinder is at right now. For a total of how much? $350. Right? In this case, since we said we're going to cut a check, let's go ahead and cut my check. So I have check number 1512 for that $350, which is to Valley Delivery Services, right? Because they are the ones who delivered the coffee brewer and coffee grinder to me. Okay, Valley Delivery Services. Right? And what was it for? It was for shipping for brewer and grinder. Okay? So I wrote check number 1512 for $350 to Valley Delivery Services. Okay? So back to your journal, right? We received a bill from Valley Delivery Services. Right? What was my proof of a transaction?
The invoice.
Invoice number 301.
301.
Okay. Invoice number 301. This was cash on delivery. That's why we had to pay. Cash on delivery. And our proof was we wrote check number 1512. Okay. Okay, 1512. All right. So now we need to go to my ledger to update my account. Okay. So first one was we're gonna put this into miscellaneous suspense, right? Now in this case, how would I split the shipping between the two items? How would you split the shipping? Well, in this case, our assumption is the coffee brewer and the coffee grinder. They probably weigh the same, right?
Right.
So in this case, how would you split the shipping cost?
50/50.
50-50. So 350 divided by 2 is
175.
175. Okay, and this was also 175. Okay, so there you go. $350 total, which is 175 to the coffee brewer and then 175 to the coffee grinder. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I put that in there. Okay, shipping cost, right? 175 to brewer and 175 to grinder. Okay. Still on page 3 for $350. Okay. So, if I'm adding $350 to my $3,806.02, how much is my total miscellaneous suspense right now? What's the grand total of both my coffee brewers, coffee grinders, plus the shipping?
I got $4,156.02.
Good. All right. So that's your coffee brewer and your coffee grinder all together in there. Okay. And I need to pay $350 to for the delivery services because it was cash on delivery. So I have to go all the way up because I wrote another check. Okay, so checking. Right, we wrote check number 1512. Okay, we're on page 3 for another $350. Okay. So how much should I have in my checking account now?
Oh,
How much should I have it left in my checking account if I just wrote another $350 check?
5,552.
Okay, $5,552.42. Good. Okay. So I finished my journal. I finished my ledger. So now I need to go to my subsidiary ledger, right? Because even though I made a payment to Valor Delivery Services, I don't owe them anything, right? It's always good to keep a track record because one, you just cut a check to them. And two, that's proof that if Haley Bro says, oh, we haven't heard from you guys if you rather you received the coffee brewer or coffee grinder yet, right? Then we can double verify saying, yes, we did receive it. Valerie Delivery Services has already delivered it to me, right? So they can communicate that way. So it's always good to keep track of every transaction, especially when you write a check. Because what if Valerie Delivery Services says, oh, we delivered everything to you, but we haven't received a payment from you? Well, of course, then you could verify saying, yes, you did, because it was cash on delivery. So there's a lot of things that you can utilize receipts for, right? Because receipts is proof of a transaction. So especially with they billed you, right, for that cash on delivery. So they expected you to pay right then and there. And your proof is that you paid with your checking account, right? With the check 1512. Okay, so here you go, Valor Delivery Services, right? Today's the 10. Notes, right? What did you do for Valor Delivery Services? Well, right, it was shipping costs for, it was shipping costs for coffee brewer and coffee grinder. Right, and we used proof that we made a payment was check number 1512. Okay, invoice 301. Post reference, we're still on our third journal here. Terms, right, was COD because it was cash on delivery. Okay. Due date, there isn't a due date because it was that day. Okay. And the invoice amount was for $350. And of course, we paid with our check 1512 for $350. So we should owe Valley Delivery Services nothing. Okay. All right. So that should conclude this section here, right? Now that I have received the bill and everything, this is what I want you to do. I want you to remove the coffee brewer from the miscellaneous suspense account because the coffee brewer is already ready to go. It's the coffee grinder that I need to do a reinforcement foundation and the electrical wiring for, right? Because I already have a socket for the coffee brewer, okay? So in this case, I want you to remove the coffee brewer out from your miscellaneous suspense. So how would I physically do that? I'm moving from one account to another. Now in this case, I want you to move the coffee brewer out from the miscellaneous suspense and put it into where? The actual coffee brewer account, right? So let's go ahead and review. Where is that coffee brewer account?
$15.10.
1510. And I'm taking it out from miscellaneous suspense. So therefore, I'm going to decrease the miscellaneous suspense because I'm taking it out, right? So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Today's the 10. I'm going to move the coffee brewer out from miscellaneous suspense and add it to my coffee brewer account. So I'm going to increase my coffee brewer account, 1510. And I'm gonna take it out from the miscellaneous suspense account. To remove the coffee brewer, right? And your note here is simply straightforward, right? To remove coffee brewer out from miscellaneous suspense account, right? Straightforward. Now, how much am I going to move out? Well, we need to determine, right? How much was your coffee brewer? So you do need to take a look at your ledger, right? Because your ledger tells you the grand total amount of your entire miscellaneous suspense account, right? I know for a fact that, yes, my coffee brewer is currently at $2,452.95. And I also need to add that $175 shipping for the coffee brewer. So if you guys remember, on the side of my miscellaneous suspense, I've already started calculating it, right? Here's my coffee brewer. That's the price that it was worth. This is the tax. This is the shipping. So right now, that grand total for that coffee brewer is $2,627.95. So right there is how much I am going to be taking out. Okay? I'm going to be taking out $2627.95. Okay? Because that includes every single thing. That includes the taxes and the shipping cost. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I put this in my journal that I'm taking out $2627.95 and putting it into my coffee brewer account. Okay? for $26.27.95. Okay? And then, since I already finished my journal, right, that had nothing to do with anything else, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in right away into my miscellaneous suspense account because I already have it opened right here. Okay? So here, I'm going to go ahead and put in remove coffee brewer, okay, for that $2,452.95 plus the $175 shipping. And that's going to give me, right, I'm going to subtract $26.27.95 from my account. So then how much should be left over in the miscellaneous suspense if I'm going to remove $26.27.95? Okay. So if I have a total of $4,156.02 and I'm subtracting out $26.27.95, how much should I have left? I should have 1528.07 left, right? Now, if you think about it, add up your entire coffee grinder, right? If your coffee grinder is 1353.07 plus that 175, that should be left over remaining in your miscellaneous suspense account, right? I should have my coffee grinder there, okay? So now that I removed my coffee brewer, I'm going to go ahead and add it into my account here for the coffee brewers. Okay. Here's your equipment. Here's your coffee brewer account. Okay. Today's the 10. Right? This is coffee. So purchased coffee brewer number 2. Okay. Which cost you $2,266, right? That's how much it cost you. Plus the tax, which cost you $185.95. Okay, actually 186. My bad. 186.95. Okay, plus the $175 shipping cost. Okay. And that should give you your grand total. Right, we're on page 3 here. Your grand total for that $26.27.95. Right? So how much together is your entire coffee brewer account? So we have coffee brewer number 1 and coffee brewer number 2. How much is your grand total coffee brewers?
$4,527.90.
Good. Right? $4,527.95 is correct. Good. So now that I finished my journal, I finished my ledger. Okay. Now, question. Do you need to update your subsidiary ledger?
Yes,
Why?
but you got a whole lot of situations that you got to work out.
Well, did we hire anybody to remove the coffee brewer into the or from the miscellaneous expense to their respective account?
No,
So, did we since you said no, right? What does the subsidiary ledger serve?
it shows all
The
kind of
main account?
Not the main account. The subsidiary ledger shows all the people who
you owe.
you owe or the people that owe you. So it's all the people that are involved with your company, right? So all your customers, your vendors, and employee. You don't even have any employees right now.
Mm-hmm.
So did you hire anybody to remove the miscellaneous from your coffee brewer from the miscellaneous expense to its respective account? No. So this is called an internal transaction where nobody's involved. This is from moving from one account to another, right? This is a internal transaction, right? You didn't hire anybody to do this for you. You didn't have anybody who owes you the money. So in this case, nobody was involved with this transaction. So we call this an internal transaction. So no, we do not need to use a subsidiary ledger here, right? So that means we are done with this section here. So we got our coffee brewer and a coffee grinder, right? We removed the coffee brewer, right? So all we have left in the miscellaneous expense is the coffee grinder, right? So then once we have done that, right, we already removed the coffee grinder. We're going to be hiring LV Remodeling one more time to go ahead and reinforce that foundation for the coffee grinder. Okay? Is this a transaction we need to record?
Yes,
Why?
because you removed the coffee brewer from the miscellaneous expense.
We already did that. We
Mm-hmm.
already did that in the previous one. I'm talking about we just hired LV Remodeling to do the reinforcement for the coffee grinder.
Okay, there's no entry for that
There's
at this point.
no exactly. You're correct because you just hired them. They haven't billed you yet. You haven't even scheduled to complete the foundation yet. So in this case, there's no entry there because you just simply hired them. Okay? All right. So, next transaction here. So it's now finally Tuesday, June 11. We end up receiving a bill from LV Remodeling Company. Okay? So this one, right? If you read this little bill slip here, right? Today's the 11th. It is due on the 15th. Invoice number 1754. And let's take a look. Right here says remodeling interior store. So remember, we hired them twice. Okay, we just hired them again to do the refoundation for the coffee grinder. But this one was the previous time when we, after Kim gave us recommendations to do the interior design, we hired LV Remodeling to do the design. Right? So in this case, they said, hey, here you go. The job's done. We billed you for $1,890. So, what do I do with this transaction here?
Okay, you put it in your journal.
Right. Okay, let's take a look at my chart of accounts. Okay? Now, in this case, I hired them to do a job for me, right? So where would they fall under? Now, they're not an employee, right? Because their job was to just do interior designing for me. That is not what my coffee shop does, right? It doesn't, the job isn't to interior design. The job is to sell coffee, right? So in this
Right.
case, they are definitely not an employee. So if I hired them, where would they be? What kind of account would they be in? Okay,
But they're,
go ahead.
accounts payable, right?
Accounts payable, because we're not going to pay them now. We're going to pay them later. Yes, good. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you a hint. It's definitely going to be an expense, right? Because your what they did for you was what they did for you. So what would this be under?
Subcontractor expense?
It would be under good subcontractor expense, because in this case, it's not advertising, it's not insurance expense, it's not business expense. It could be considered a business expense, but in this case, not really, right? There's definitely much more in terms of being descriptive. You could actually recognize this as a business expense if you choose to do so, but I also have subcontractor expense, right? Because LV remodeling is a subcontractor, right? I'm hiring them to complete a job for me, which is separate than what I do for my operations, right? So in this case, subcontractor expense is going to be correct, right? 6510. All the other expenses on here do not fit the category, right? You didn't hire them for temporary work, right? And you didn't it doesn't fit any other ones. License and permanent expense, loss on disposal of asset, office supplies, they're not on the payroll, not purchase, not utilities, right? So in this case, subcontractor expense would probably most likely fit this one much better, right? So in this case, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to hire them as a subcontractor expense, which is going to be account number 6510. Because it's a subcontractor expense, how do we increase our expenses?
You debit them?
We debit them, right? Subcontractor expense. 6510 for how much? 1890. Right? And we said we're not going to pay them now because right now we only have $5,000 in our bank. We're going to take advantage of the time that they allow us to owe them for, right? So we're going to not pay them now. We're going to pay them later. Okay, so we already established that this is going to be an accounts payable account. Okay? And you have everything that you need, right? Who did you receive this bill from?
LV Remodeling Company.
Good. What was the proof of a transaction?
The invoice.
Invoice number 1754. Did they give you terms? How many days did they give you?
4 days.
They gave you 4 days, so net 4. Okay. And then, of course, you could also say this is for interior design. Okay. All right. So now that I finished my journal, I can go ahead and update my ledger accounts because now I owe more money. Okay. First things first is you're going to recognize that operating expense here. So again, subcontractor expense. Here they are, subcontractor under labor expense. It's the 11th. So here you're going to go ahead and say interior design for store. Right? You could put the invoice number if it helps you. You could put the whatever you want to put in here. Okay. Journal, where we just left our other one. We just finished our 3rd journal, so we are on the 4th journal now. Okay. We're gonna debit my expense for $18.90. Okay. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and update my accounts payable account, so my liabilities. Okay, because I received another bill and I'm not gonna pay it now. I'm gonna choose to pay it later. So invoice number 1754. We're on our 4th journal now for $18.90. So how much do I owe now? If I'm currently at 11,863.90, right? And I just owed another $1,890. How much do I owe in grand total?
13,753.90.
Yes. So in this case, keep adding and adding and adding. So right now, I have $5,000 in the bank and I owe $13,000. Okay. That's a lot of money that we're owing right now. Okay. So I finished the journal. I finished the ledger. Now I owe LV Remodeling Company some money. So I definitely need to update their profile because we owe more money now, right? We need to keep track of our bills and the people that we owe. So in this case, I'm going to locate LV Remodeling. So this should be in alphabetical order. Okay, so LV Remodeling. There's landlord. Here is NV Utilities. There's landlords. There you go. LV Remodeling Company. Today's the 11th. What did we do? We received our interior design job. Interior design store job. Okay. 1754 was my invoice. We're on general journal page 4. Did we receive terms? Yes, right?
Yes.
It wasn't a discount, but we have 4 days to pay this bill. So when is the due date for this bill?
The
What?
The
15th?
15th?
Yep, the 15th, right? It says so on your bill, right? And for the total amount of $18.90. And once again, let's do that formula. It's going to be invoice amount minus prepaid minus returns minus discounts minus payments. And is that true? Do we owe LV Remodeling $1,890?
Yes.
Yes, that is true. Okay. So again, down at the gray is your total amount of all the things that you owe a particular vendor. So if you don't have this filled in, it's just equal sum, okay? Or in this case, it's up to you if you want to know how much you owe this entire company. Okay. All right. And that is it for that transaction there. Okay. Let's see. I think we have time for one more. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and record all of these right here, and then we will take a break, okay? So now we finally hired some employees, okay? The first person we hired is going to be Irene Jameson, okay? She's going to be for the in-store help, so person who's running the cash register, okay? Maybe the person that's running back and forth for the to get everything ready for the coffees, okay? So again, Irene was hired to do the in-store help, okay? She's going to get paid $12.50 per hour with no extra benefits, okay? So she's just getting hired for just the job. She's scheduled to do 40 hours per week from Friday through Tuesday, so that means she gets to take Wednesday and Thursday off, okay? And then she's to start her job on the 14th of June. So right now we're only on the 11th, right? So she's not going to start to work until and start training until the 14th of June. Okay? And the payroll period is weekly and it will start on June 10. So in this case, we already started the payroll period and it ends on the 23rd of June. Okay, so she's coming in and we're going to start paying her we're going to start recording her hours starting on the 14th. Okay, but our payroll period already began. Okay. And yeah, so what do I do with Irene? What do I do with this transaction right here?
Employee expense?
Well, first off, today's only the 11th. Did she work?
No.
No, she hasn't worked yet. She's scheduled to work on the 14th of June. So what do we do with Irene? Do I need to journalize her? Yes or no?
No.
No, we haven't paid her yet, right? She hasn't
Right.
even started working yet. However, this is pertinent information because it's for a future transaction, right? So
Right.
this is going to be another adequate disclosure because we need to know how much we owe her, how much what she's scheduled. So she's a full-time employee because she's getting 40 hours a week, right? She's scheduled to work from Fridays to Tuesdays, right, for 8 hours a week. And she is going to start working on the 14th of June. So therefore, this is stuff that you need to record in your notes, the financial statements. However, I'm not going to have you guys do that. So where would I put all this information? So in this case, you have a special place. If you're using Excel, it's in your subsidiary ledger, right? Because this is a customer, vendor, employee, right? It's people in your business. For you guys, it's just the payroll for the Word document. It's the payroll one, right? We're going to fill in all of her information into that payroll section. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my subsidiary ledger. Here you go. I have my section for employees. So again, pay date, right? If my payroll period ends on the 23rd, right? If I take a look at my calendar, right? Let's take a look at my calendar. When is the pay date? In this case, right, let's see, we're going to pay on Fridays. So, in this case, let's take a look. My payroll day is right here. We're going to pay on the 14th and we're going to pay on the 28th. Well, it's too late for Irene to get paid on the 14th, right? Because that's the day that she's working. She didn't accumulate any other hours before then. So therefore, her pay date is actually going to be on the 28th. Okay, let me make this a little bigger. Okay. So here you go. Her pay date is going to be on the 28th, okay, on Friday. And then what is her employee first name? Her name is Irene. Okay. Last name Jameson. Pay rate $12.50, right? All right. Now in this case, we're not going to process payroll today, right? Because it's not until the 28th. So in this case, we will fill out the rest of this later on. But what the most important thing is, we need to recognize the employee and what their pay rate is going to be, because once we figure out how many hours that she has clocked in, then we're going to go ahead and do the total hours and figure out what her gross pay is then. But that's all the information I need to put in here. Right? Now, do you need to make a note that she's going to start on the 14th of June? Yes, of course. That's something that you can have in the back of your mind, okay? That she's scheduled to start on the 14th. Okay? All right? So then we also hired Tim Harrison, okay, a bartista who's going to receive a salary because of, again, we're going to be needing the bartista to be there at least 12 hours a day, right? Because this person is going to be making the coffees. And that's what our store is about, right? We need to hire somebody who can make the coffee. So in this case, they are going to be working for us salary, okay? Because they're going to be there for longer hours, okay? Of roughly $40,000, okay? So that means they're going to be receiving at least $1,500 per paycheck, okay? And then again, we're going to pay them every 2 weeks, so bi-weekly, scheduled to work Tuesdays through they're going to be working Tuesdays through Saturdays, so that means they get Sunday and Monday off. All right, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And again, no benefits, and they're going to start working and training tomorrow. Okay, so today again is Tuesday. So because they're salary-based paying, right? It doesn't matter how many hours that they work, but this bartista needs to get used to our equipment. They need to train, right? right? They need to train to be able to make the coffees and make their specialities, right? Or make our specialities, what we offer, right? So, with that being said, that is what they're going to do. They're going to train in how to use the machines and so on and so forth. So, with this, do we need to journalize Mr. Tim Harrison? Okay. Do we need to journalize Mr. Tim Harrison? Okay. In this case, no, we would not need to journalize it because they don't start working until tomorrow, right? That's number one. Two, the assumption here is that we're going to pay Tim Harrison exactly when we pay Miss Irene, right? Because they're on the same pay schedule, right? It's the same one. They're going to be bi-weekly, okay? And right now, they're not scheduled to work starting until tomorrow. So in this case, all we simply did was just hire them. Now in this case, we do need to fill in this information into our employees because yes, we have another employee, right? First name, Tim. Last name, Harrison. Okay? And how much is he? What's his pay rate? In this case, we know he's salary. But if I'm going to do pay rate for every pay period, he's going to get whatever 40,000 divided by the number of paychecks, right? 26 paychecks. So in this case, it's already calculated for you. It says right here that he's going to be receiving $1,500 per paycheck. Okay? So we already given that piece of information there. So that means he's going to be receiving $1,500 per paycheck. So that's his pay rate. Okay? It doesn't change because it doesn't matter how many hours he works, right? Because he's salary. So in this case, that's all the information I need for now. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Payroll period is the same. Okay? All right. And last but not least, we also end up hiring Albert Allen. Okay, Albert Allen as a sales representative, aka a 1099 worker. Okay, so he is just simply gonna just be there to help us be also a wholesaler, right? We're gonna have Albert act as a person who's going to help us sell our coffees by the pound. So he's going to be earning commissions to be up to 40% based on his total sales. Okay? And benefits deductions are going to be from his commissions, which in this case we're not going to offer any. And of course, work to start on the 17th of June. Okay? And the pay date is the same as the payroll period. So therefore, that means they're all going to be paid on the same day. Okay? Now, Albert Allen is a 1099 worker. Is he an employee to us? Is Albert going to be an employee for us?
No.
No, he is a 1099 worker. He can come into the office whenever he feels like. He can sell our products whenever he feels like, right? He is an independent contractor. He doesn't work for us, but he works for us as a separate entity. Okay? So in this case, he is commission based. He's not going to get paid on an hourly rate. He's going to be paid based on how much he sells, and it's going to be 40%. Now in this case, if he's a 1099 person, he's not a worker. Okay? He's not considered an employee. Okay? Now, if he's not starting to work for us until June 17, which is when we actually open our store, so in this case, do we need to journalize him?
No.
No, because in this case, first off, he hasn't started working. He's not scheduled to work until the 17th of June. Second of all, he is based on how much money he sells, right? He's not going to get paid until he sells something. We're not even open yet. So in this case, no transaction is necessary here. However, this is definitely pertinent information. So once again, on your payroll sheet, you should have a section for commissions. And that's exactly where we're going to be placing him, because he is just going to be receiving money from us based on the commissions that he sells our products for. So I'm going to go ahead and put his name in here, Albert Allen, right? That is who our sales representative is. And how much is his percentage that he's going to be receiving from me? 40%. Okay, 40% commissions. Okay, so therefore, there you go. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. Okay, so we're going to continue on with Wednesday when we come back from the break. Okay, so save your work.